Hi all, welcome back to our channel Lit Horizon. Today we are going to discuss about the four branches of grammar, that is traditional grammar, structural grammar, TG grammar and functional grammar. Before entering into the content, we should know what is grammar. Grammar is a set of rules which shows how words are arranged in a language. The word grammar is derived from the Greek word grammatike, which means art of letters. Let us begin our content. From our school days, we have learned many grammatical rules, like a sentence should have a sphere pattern, and we have learned different tenses, and we have learned how to use conjunction, interjunction, prepositions in a sentence, and we have learned how to make question tags and active passive transformations, etc. These grammatical rules is known as traditional grammar or school grammar or prescriptive grammar. Traditional grammar is known as school grammar because we have learned these grammatical rules from school. That's why it is termed as school grammar. Traditional grammar is known as prescriptive grammar because it prescribes certain rules, how to use language, and what all rules should be followed by constructing a sentence, etc. For example, one should not use conjunctions while starting a sentence. So I think the concept traditional grammar is clear. Next, we can go through how traditional grammar or English grammar is evolved. We all know that the English language is associated with England, but are you sure that the first language which is spoken in England is English? If you think so, it is wrong, because the first spoken language in England was Celtic language. Then came the Latin language after the invasion of Rome in England. Thereafter, until 16th century, Latin was the official language in England and in the rest of Western Europe. Therefore, the only grammar that was studied in school on those days was Latin. Later, with the invasion of Anglo-Saxons, English language began to develop. Therefore, there arose a need of English grammar. William Bullocker, a grammarian, wrote English grammar in his pamphlet, Pamphlet for Grammar. He wrote this English grammar based on Latin grammar. So we have gone through how traditional grammar is evolved. This traditional grammar have certain limitations. The first point is we have already discussed that the English grammar was written based on the Latin grammar, but these two language is different in its structure. For example, John can be used as subject and object in English language, but in Latin language it is not possible. This is one of the limitations, and the next one is traditional grammarians prescribe rules. It separates a sentence into good sentence and bad sentence. Next limitation is traditional grammars gave importance only for writing and they won't give any importance for speaking. The next one is traditional grammar did not take into account the fact that languages undergo changes. The next point is traditional grammar is based on 8 parts of speech, and this division is done in 5th century BC for the Greek language. But the number of parts of speech is questionable now. The article and determines is also considered as parts of speech. Therefore, there are 10 parts of speech instead of 8. So, these are the limitations of traditional grammar. As a reaction to these limitations, a new theories of grammar begin to develop, and that is known as structural grammar. It is popular in US. Structural grammar is just opposite to traditional grammar. Structural grammar is defined as the scientific study of language and its structure. Structural grammarians not only gave importance to structure of a sentence but also its meaning. Structural grammar was introduced by Ferdinand de Saussure, and in America, structural grammar was introduced by Leonard Bloomfield, Franz Boas, Edward Sapir, etc. Leonard Bloomfield is considered as father of American linguistics. Structural grammar is also known as descriptive grammar because while considering a text or a speech, structural grammarians describe the language as it is used in the text or speech. That's why structural grammar is also known as descriptive grammar. Unlike traditional grammarians, structural grammarians believes that the language undergoes changes. In order to analyze the structure of a sentence, structuralists used IC analysis method. The full form of IC analysis is immediate constituent analysis, and it is introduced by Leonard Bloomfield in 1933, and it is further developed by Rulon Wells. In IC analysis, a sentence is divided into many constituents until a meaningful word is obtained. The first step in IC analysis is to divide the subject and predicative of a sentence. For example, consider the sentence, Poor John ran fast. Here, the subject is poor John and predicative is ran fast. Again, the poor John is divided into poor and John, and ran fast is divided into ran and fast. One of the limitations of IC analysis is it does not indicate grammatical functions of constituents. Later, the linguist Mac Halliday introduced labeling method. There are two types of label, that is class label and functional label. Class label is labeling noun, verb and adjective, and functional label is labeling subject, object and verb in a sentence. Here is an example for labeling method. Consider the sentence, Poor John ran fast. Here the noun phrase is poor John and verb phrase is ran fast. Again the noun phrase is divided into poor and John. Here the poor is labeled as adjective and John is noun phrase. Ran fast is divided into ran and fast. Here ran is verb phrase and fast is adverb. I hope it's clear. For better understanding, try to describe the sentence barking dog seldom bites by using the labeling method. The next topic is transformational generative grammar. It is commonly known as TG grammar. Noam Chomsky, who is an linguist, made improvement upon IC analysis and introduced phrase structure grammar or transformation generative grammar. TG grammar is appeared in Noam Chomsky's work Syntactic Structure, which was written in 1957, and Aspects of Theory of Syntax, which is written in 1965. TG grammar is defined as a set of grammar rules that are used when basic sentences are combined to form more complex sentences. In order to understand TG grammar, we have to know what is phrase structure tree diagram. Phrase structure tree diagram is describing a sentence by using tree diagram. It is similar to labeling method introduced by Mac Halliday. For example, he gave a flower to the girl. Divide the sentence into subject and predicative. He is a subject. Gave a flower to the girl is predicative. And label he as noun phrase. Gave as verb phrase. A is determiner. Flower is noun phrase. To the is prepositional phrase. And girl is noun phrase. This phrase structure rule is mainly used by structuralist grammar. We have already discussed that the structuralist grammarians describe the sentence as it is, and it is considered as a drawback by TG grammar. For example, consider the sentence, the thief they caught. This sentence can be described as it is. Here, the is preposition, thief is noun phrase, they is pronoun, and caught is verb phrase. So here we used phrase structure rule. But the sentence have a problem. It is not written in SVO pattern. Therefore, in order to regain its original structure, we have to apply transformation method. For that, we have to change the position of they caught to the initial position and the thief to the final position. Then the sentence will be like this: they caught the thief. Then the structure of sentence will be in SVO pattern. They will be subject, caught will be verb, and thief will be object. So TG grammar have two subcomponents, that is phrase structure rule and subcomponent of transformation. As a part of study of TG grammar, Noam Chomsky introduced two concepts, that is deep structure and surface structure. Deep structure means the structure of sentence that doesn't undergo any transformation. Example for deep structure is the thief they caught. The sentence does not undergo any transformations. Surface structure is structure of sentence that undergo transformation. They caught the thief is an example for it. TG grammar mainly undergoes three transformations, that is addition transformation, deletion transformation, and separation transformation. First, we can go through addition transformation. In addition transformation, certain new words are added. Active to passive transformation is an example for addition transformation. Consider the sentence, Needu read a novel. This sentence is in active voice. We need to convert it into passive voice. In order to convert an active voice to passive voice, we should consider the tense of the sentence. Here, the sentence is in simple past. And the next criteria is we should transform object in a sentence to the subject position. Then we should convert V1 to V3 form. Then we have to use by at last the subject. After converting the sentence Needu read a novel, the passive voice, the sentence will be like this: a novel was read by Needu. Then we can apply phrase structure rule in the sentence. Here a novel will be noun phrase, was read by Needu will become verb phrase. Again, by dividing a novel, a will be determiner, a novel will be noun phrase. And again dividing the noun phrase, was will be auxiliary verb, read will be verb phrase, by preposition, Needu will be verb phrase. For better understanding, try to apply addition transformation in the sentence, Mary pet the cat gently. Next, we can go through deletion transformation. Deletion transformation is also known as imperative transformation. Imperative sentence is a type of sentence that give instruction or advice or comment. One of the rule in deletion transformation is we should remove subject plus should, must, will, shall, etc. from a sentence. For example, you will go to the shop. Here, you is subject and will is an auxiliary verb. We should remove you will, then the sentence will be you go to the shop. This is an example for deletion transformation. The next one is separation transformation. In this transformation, position of some existing items are altered. For example, the baby tore up the paper. After applying separation transformation, the sentence will be the baby tore the paper up. Here the position of up is altered. This is all about TG grammar. Next topic is functional grammar. What is the purpose of language? We all know that language is used to communicate, and by communicating, a meaning is transferred. Functional grammar concerns only how language makes meaning. and they don't see grammar as a set of rules. And it also concerns how language uses in different situations. And two aspects which came under functional grammar is semantic aspects and communicative aspects. So what is semantics? Semantics is the study of meaning. Then communication. Communication is an act of expressing ideas, feelings, and transferring data to others. And there are two forms of communication, that is verbal communication and non-verbal communication. And the verbal communications means communicating by using words. An example for verbal communication is oral communication, written communication, visual communication, audio-visual communication, network communication, participant-based communications, etc. And non-verbal communication is communication without the usage of words. Example for non-verbal communication is body language. It's communicating through physical movements. The next one is paralanguage, the way in which we use our voice while uttering words. For example, while communicating, we use pitch, stress, and intonation. If we does not care pitch, stress, and intonation while one communicating, we cannot get the actual meaning the communicator tries to convey. The next nonverbal communication is haptics. It is a communication by means of touch. For example, while greeting a person, we used hands to shake. It is an example for haptics. And the next one is sign language. It is the traffic signals, color, etc. So I think the topic is clear for you. Thank you.